Hello everyone, my name is Krisi Smith, as they said, and I co-founded Bird and Blend Tea Company. We are an independent, rapidly growing company that started in Nottingham actually. You could probably tell by my accent, it's got a little bit confused, but I am a Nottingham girl from back in the day, and we moved down to Brighton to expand the business along the way. You might recognise our Nottingham store here behind me. It's on Victoria Street, just off the Market Square. And my team always tell me not to do this, but if you go in and say, Krisi sent you, can I have a free cup of tea? They will sort you out. Please do. If you haven't been in already, go and experience it. It's a brilliant experience. So what I wanted to talk to you about today was about how important brand voice is. And actually, for me, I know brand voice can sometimes feel like a bit of a marketing jargon. We use it a lot. But for me, it's about being authentic and having decent values and making sure that we are thinking about what sort of legacy that we want to leave. Yeah. And that means that if we get that right, it can transcend all the different things that we do, all of the marketing channels that we work on, and all of our objectives and things that we're trying to achieve. So today, I'm not going to talk too much about the practicalities of digital or marketing. And I'm really sorry to say, but I don't actually have all of the answers. I think that's one of the magical things about working in anything to do with brand or digital or marketing, is that we don't know all of the answers. And it would be great if there was some sort of magic channel that we could untap to achieve our objectives. But I'm hoping that I'll be able to give you a bit of food for thought, and that actually I can encourage you to think about the magic of a brand or the magic of your voice. And something that I heard a couple of weeks ago that I thought I would mention was a phrase, and it said, when you press stop, when you press pause on a machine, it stops. But when you press pause on a human, they start. And I think that coming to things like this and taking time out of our day jobs and our businesses is super important, because it enables us to really ground ourselves in why we're doing what we're doing. And that definitely comes through in the things that we do in our work as well as in our lives. And I try and do that as much as I can. But it's really hard, right? We all work in digital, and we live in a digital world where we are constantly being encouraged to be in the present. We're connected to all of the digital devices in our personal lives, and we're operating in a world that is constantly demanding our attention. And that's really exciting, and I love digital, and I work in it in a day-to-day basis. But how do we find the right magic to ensure that we are able to step back from the present and think about what we want to achieve in the world around us? So just bear with me, I've not used a clicker before. So, what do I do? Over the years of Bird and Blend, I've done all of these things, as any sort of founder and business owner has done. At the moment, I head up our brand department on a day-to-day basis. So I look after our product, digital, and marketing teams with a very, very talented team around me, but it wasn't always like that. I've done all these different jobs along the way. And I also run the business with my directors and my business partner, Mike, so making lots of strategic decisions about how we want to grow the business and what we want our business to stand for. Along the way, I've had some fantastic opportunities. I head up the brand in the sort of PR sense. I'm the face of the brand. I'm the tea expert, so to speak. My official title there is Chief Mixologist, which represents the innovation that we do in our product development. So I'm often on the radio or different bits and pieces talking about tea. I have authored the World Atlas of Tea, which you could pick up in any bookshop if you're interested. And I've done all sorts of things. I'm the leading UK's chai champion. Yeah, that is a thing. I'm a head judge for matcha tasting at the Great Taste Awards, and I'm shortly to be featured on a new Amazon show as a judge, sort of apprentice entrepreneur type thing to keep you a bit mortified to see how it gets edited, but yeah, if it's great, then tweet me. If it's awful, then please don't make a meme of my face. So that's a bit about what I do. And what do we do at Bird and Blend? So we spread happiness and reimagine tea. That's our mission. And we do the latter the reimagining teapot through our tea wall experience. So if you imagine Lush crossed with your favourite pick-and-mix shop, that's kind of what we are. We've taken a staple, tea, like Lush took soap, and we've created this magical world where you can come and try different flavours and ingredients and have a great time, learn about tea, have a cuppa, come to a workshop, whatever you want to do. And we do some more normal flavours, like Earl Grey creme, but we also do a lot of innovation in MPD, which is a core part of our brand. And we make sure that innovation and that sort of trailblazing MPD, it comes across in everything that we do. On the right there, you can see our cold brew bottles and our blue raspberry tea that changes colour. And then most recently, this might be a step too far for quite a lot of people in the room, but we made a tea-infused Easter eggs, which went down really well. But like I said, we do normal stuff as well, so don't be too freaked out. Okay, so we do the former, the spreading happiness part, via 14 UK stores, soon to be 18, hopefully. And they're all our own retail stores. The first one was in Brighton. I now live in Brighton. I think our fourth one was Nottingham. And we also sell online on our website and a little bit of B2B as well. Now, I am going to talk and tell the story, and I'm being the marketeer and doing the PR thing about the brand, and I will talk a lot about humans and retail and all that sort of thing. But I know there's a lot of people in the room that work in digital, maybe pure or a combination, or agency or whatever. And I just wanted to highlight that although a lot of people do perceive our brand as a sort of family independent tea company, and I come and I've got my flowery dress on and I'm really friendly and all of this, but actually our business is 55%, our revenue is 55% digital. So the growth of the business in particular over the next 2 years is going to come predominantly through our ecom, and we ship all over the world, and we've grown from practically nothing. We just did just shy of 4 million on the website last year, to give you a frame, and we've got 7.5 on the board for this year. So just a bit of like kudos, bigging myself up so you think that I am somewhat relevant to what's going on today. So these are our founding mission statement and our North Star, and some of our values and principles on the board. So I founded the business with my partner Mike 10 years ago. We were trying to avoid getting a normal job and escaped Canada, where we became ski instructors, and I maxed my credit card out and thought I better get a job. So I ended up working for a really innovative tea blending company, and came up with the idea of Bird and Blend. And back then, it was very, very, very small and just an idea. And I think a lot of our competitors, they start a food and drink brand because they love the product. And I do love the product, and I am a tea expert, but I was looking for an opportunity to start a business that was going to prove that you could be a successful business that based its decisions on not just profit. Now, I did want to start a business, otherwise I would have started a charity. I did want to make money, but that was not the primary driver. I do firmly believe that business can make a real change in people's lives, in the communities around them, and at policy level as well. But we wanted to prove that you could put people at the forefront and the planet at the forefront of what we were doing, and also be successful, which we've hopefully kind of done so far. So it was about empowering people and empowering and creating jobs. And what we didn't know, but at the time when we started, we didn't have any money. So we were going to like market stores and chatting to our customers, and friends and family. Some friends in the room have helped out at many a market stall in the early days, and packing tea in our bedrooms. So we've got a real PR-able starting founder story. But what we didn't know at the time was that we were gathering literally market research. Like, our customers were telling everything to us straight away. We were getting those human connections. We were learning about the people. We were learning about who we wanted to be, and putting ourselves and our customers at the heart of our voice and our story. And that foundation has actually, we didn't do it by mistake, but it wasn't incredibly well thought out. But that foundation has meant that we've been able to not only survive over the last couple of years and the last 10, but actually thrive. And it's that trying to understand what we want our experience to be with our customers and our team that has stood us in good faith. And we thought a lot about what our legacy, we wanted our legacy to be. And I actually went to I can't claim credit for this, I went to a really, really cool talk with a lady called Sharon Emisu, who I would encourage people to look up on LinkedIn. She's brilliant. And she talked about legacy, and she was talking about it more in a personal sense as an individual, what you want your legacy to be. And she explained that legacy really is about socially influencing people to maximize an output, hopefully a shared output. It's about leaving something behind. And she talked about the fact that legacy doesn't exist in a vacuum. So we're not trying to create a legacy. A legacy will be created regardless. What we're trying to do is create a positive and thoughtful legacy. And as individuals, we can implement that in all of our relationships. But in business and in brand and in marketing, you can also really think about what you want your legacy to be. And actually, I thought about this, and I thought it's not too dissimilar to that classic phrase, which I'm probably going to murder, but was about people don't remember what you did or what you said. They remember how you make them feel. And as a brand and a business and as marketeers, that's something that I think is really important for us to think about. And we know more about our customers now than we ever did. We've got all this data, and we're told all the different ways we can use it, and we've got all these platforms and all sorts of amazing stuff that we can use to figure out what our customers want. But if we don't take a step back to think about what we want the human connection to be, we forget how we want to make them feel. And it's really, really hard, going back to my point at the beginning of taking your time out to think about that. It is really, really difficult, but we've done it a lot, and I'm not perfect. I'm guilty of getting stuck into the firefighting of all the many, many things that need to be fixed on a daily basis. But I think it's really important. So if I was going to tell you the really impressive stuff about my business and give you the PR spiel, I'd probably say that we founded off of a tiny amount of savings, 10k savings at the time we started the business, and we have along the years gone from a team of 2, Mike and I and the dog Arlo, to over 150 people across the country, across 21 sites. We have had 2 of the highest, quickest and award-winning crowdfunding raises, thinking about PE this year, and I already spoke earlier about some of our revenue targets. So it sounds really, really impressive. However, the real story behind the scenes is it was not anywhere near as glamorous as that. In the early days, these were some of the original photographs. So bottom left was a focus group that I did in the garden of my mum's work colleagues to get them to try our first range of teas. The bottom right was my attempt to sketch our first logo. We had a different name in the beginning. That, believe it or not, top up there is my bedroom and office and tea packing room, all in the same space. And the top left, very embarrassed to say, was our first market trading setup. Awful. We've come a very long way. But it was those years where we were sleeping in the bedroom with the tea. It was those years when we were on the market stores, the awful market stores, talking to our customers, that really enabled us to understand what we were about and what we wanted to say. More pictures. That was our clapped out van. We slept up at the top because we couldn't afford hotels when we were going to events. This is our first store in Brighton. Yeah, I sketched that because I think I used the IKEA room planning tool. Yeah, I don't need architects, it's great. This is Arlo, and that was our very first team. That was 2014, so 2 years in. To start with, Mike and I worked the shop floor ourselves, and then we had a small team, and that was our first Christmas party. And I'm incredibly proud to say that 4 of those people still work for us, and 2 are directors and 2 are managers. So yeah, we've got a cracking team. And this is us opening various stores along the way. Okay. So I'm just going to take you for a second back to those founding values that we have that are as true now as they ever have been. So, but what they've meant to us has not changed, but how we have applied them, I guess, or what we have said has definitely changed. And I don't know about you, but I've never known business and marketing and digital and people to have changed so dramatically as they have in the last 2 years. And actually, I take that a step further and say in the last probably 12 weeks, like everything is moving super, super quick. And but how we've applied these things has definitely changed. We've gone from being a high street business, retail business with a website, to being a really digital focused online and offline community that speaks and connects to its customers across all different things. So some of the things that we do or are doing is that we've switched up our subscription. We have a monthly tea subscription, and we've switched up our thinking to that. Instead of it being a revenue driver and something that's great for LTV and PE, absolutely love it because you've locked in people's cash, we've switched it up to be thinking about how we can build a community around that, built out community groups on social media, and we've got an app coming in where people can share their tasting notes, they can get bigger mystery boxes added on. I do an interactive live video every month where they tea taste with us. We have events where they come in, and the community has grown from just a couple of hundred people in the community to nearly 10,000 now, and we started that a couple of months ago. That's just one example. We are exploring our in-the-box experience as well, and thinking about how we can turn the dial on our customer experience once they've received our products, and plugging that into the segmentation as well, so that we can figure out who our customers are and what we want to say to them, and making sure that that brand voice and that experience really goes through. Just had my 5-minute mark, so I'm going to make sure I've said everything that I wanted to say to you. Yeah, I think I'll end by just saying that I think we spend a lot of time thinking about technology and how it makes our lives easier, and it does, but it can be really overwhelming, and we spend a lot of time tracking our evolving budgets and what our tech stack should be and what our marketing strategy should be, and probably customer demographics and behavior as well. But how often do you really stop to consider whether or not you've put people and experience and what you actually want to say to your customers and your team at the forefront of what you're doing? Think about how your customers' lives have changed and what their experiences and desires are and what you want them to feel and how you can be a part of that. I think that I'm going to end on that because I don't want to be too late. But yeah, thank you very much for having me. And yeah, come chat to me afterwards about any of these things. I'll be around. So yeah, thank you.